Hello, everyone. This is Marita, one who catches lightning, with the Path of Ish podcast, Walking with Our Shadow, where we share ancient indigenous teachings of remembrance, all so we can walk and learn how to walk a path of radical self-love. Hello, everyone. It is with great excitement, honor, humility, respect that we come to the circle today to stay curious, to ease into possibilities, to stay playful, to not grasp. So as we open up the circle, let us take our 3 breaths together as we welcome first ourselves. So as we're doing that, just pause, right? Just take a pause now and settle into your space. Wherever you are, whether you are moving or still, be aware of your surroundings. You are your surroundings. Your surroundings are you. We are influenced at all times by the energies around us. We have this illusion that we are not, but the reality of life, as is, or one might say one interpretation of the reality of life, because there are no absolutes in this circle, is that we are just energy shifting and changing, moving and flowing in different forms. And so just observe the energy inside your mind, your body, and your essence. The energy outside your mind, your body, and your essence. And with that curiosity, understanding we are part of the all, let us take our 3 breaths. This first breath in and out through the nose. Welcoming, inviting our mind into this time, into this place, into this moment. Second breath in and out through the nose. Inviting our body into this time, into this place, into this moment. In and out through the nose. Inviting the essence into this time, into this place, into this moment. As you arrive as cohesive as your parts can be, all of them listening to their best ability. Let us approach the circle and the directions and the guardians. And so we approach the east and the elements and the guardians of whatever tradition you come from, as we ask the east to remind us of new opportunities, knowing that new opportunities means we are willing to observe, we are willing to have courage, we are willing to begin anew, to let go of the day before, let go of the moment before, and be here now. We approach the south, the elements and the guardians of the south of whatever tradition you come from, knowing that the south allows us to be students. And by allowing us to be students, it allows us the beautiful gift of unknowing. no need to know or to grasp. And so we can be presently here and now. Let us approach the West and the guardians and the elements of whatever tradition you come from, knowing that here, where the sun sets and the day ends, we can let go of what we gathered in the day and go on into a dreamscape and be present in that moment as we are present in this moment now. And then we turn to the north. This northern star that we, or some societies talk about, that guides us, that points us in the direction of our destiny and the guardians and the element of the tradition that you come from. And we ask it to remind us that our destiny is not something out in front of us, but it is to be presently aquí, presently here, now. And with the permission of all the directions and of the Eastern Gate, we walk into this circle of conversation, allowing Mother Earth to nurture us with the root that we will need for this time together, allowing the cloud people to send down a root, uniting the heavens and the earth, here, now. And as we invite the energy of the topic of today, we welcome the idea of what it wants to be called right now, the revolution of now. What does that mean? As I was sitting with many topics, many teachings that I wanted to share, this one raised its hand. And I was like, what do you want to talk about? What are you here to teach us? So many people have spoken about being presently aquí. There are so many mindful books, quizzes, texts, writings, speeches, meditations, studies that bring in this idea from other places and culture bases to the West about the importance of mindfulness. My wife was listening to a meditation this morning on Insight Timer from Thich Nhat Hanh, speaking about how some cultures in their beliefs believe in this idea of a heaven as a place that you are trying to work your way to. Meanwhile, this meditation took you on this observational journey of recognizing that what some call heaven, or what some call the divine, is all around us, and that we can connect to it more easily than we think. The example given was when seeing a tree, not just seeing the trunk and the roots, if you can see the root systems above ground, or the leaves and the foliage, but recognizing that that tree is the sun. There is sunlight in that tree. We interpret it as the color green through photosynthesis. I'm adding to this, of course. And so now all of a sudden, we have a color and a being composed of sun energy that to our eyes looks like a tree. Then we can recognize the divine and the beauty of our eyes and their interpretation of the sun, and recognize the divine of our eyes. Because our eyes are reflecting the light and interpreting the light of the sun in its many ways. We are all connected. We have heard this before, but so many times I sit across someone who has heard that, including myself in the mirror, but it's just a concept. I've sat with people who have lived a life in nature. They like hiking, they like adventure travel, right? They have one kind of relationship with nature. With some of them, not all of them, the conversation is there is a distinct difference between them and the adventure they're having and the thrill it brings them to be challenged by an environment. They see nature or the challenge of being in it as a puzzle, but yet they are outside of the puzzle. My interpretation of Thich Nhat Hanh's meditation that my wife was listening to, that I sort of picked up on just a few things. So much of this is paraphrased and running through the filter of the conversation we're having today, is to put ourselves in part of the puzzle. We are the puzzle itself. To be able to do that, we must be conscious of the things that keep us separate from the puzzle, from being part of it, from being part of the all in the here and in the now. There is an amazing Kumu on Oahu, Kumu Ramsey, who uses amazing artistry in their storytelling and uses their hands, which you cannot see me using my hands, which I use them a lot, and shows that uses their hands and places them at a distance. So do this with me, right? Place your right hand and your left hand opposite sides of themselves, about, shoulder width apart. Just spread them out with some space in between. And he gives this example holding, makes everyone hold it like, we're doing here. And he says, look, the past, right, is this energy in the left, on your left side. The future is the energy of the right. And uses this example knowing that many societies read left to right, right? If we were reading differently, we would use it differently. There is a cultural context to this to be able to connect. I like to pause and talk about this and state that in because many people just grasp on to ideas forgetting the cultural context. And then they think it's just one way of doing things. So within the cultural context of most of the people that he speaks to that are Western focused, the past is your left, the right is your future. Now, if energy is flowing, changing all the time, what actually happens is this energy isn't moving forward. Not everything's moving to the right. It's actually coming together in the moment of now. Now is literally Bring your hands together right now. The past, the future just became now, which became the past. Many times we are living or think we are living or have the concept the society that has given us is that we're living in this linear line that has this linear structure that as you move along with it, you move farther away from the past and closer to your future. Hence, that idea and concept of divine is something that you are moving to. Yet the concept that Kumuramzi, Thich Nhat Hanh, that myself and many are having a conversation in many ways, right? It takes a lot of different languages and uses of languages and imagery to portray an idea. Today, the idea of the topic of the revolution of now is, can you be revolutionary in your conception of time and your habit of time? Because we have habits of time. And examine, are you living a linear line of striving always forward, where you are never presently aquí, here, now, where the past, the future, and the present are literally weaving themselves over and over and over again. To add to this, I could be sitting here now in this moment and thinking of my future or remembering the past. We are beautiful time machines. The reason I did not title this conversation mindfulness is because within that scope, I feel that many people are not mindful of their mindfulness. It has become a system. And the Western world loves systems, especially if they don't evolve. And they love building systems after systems, like brick upon brick upon brick. And all of a sudden you step back and you thought you were building a building and you just built a wall in front of you, keeping you from the possibilities, keeping you stuck. When we think of revoluciones, revolutions, I want you to just pause and feel into what that word for you feels like. When I connect to this word, it is not just a word that I've heard in history, like the French Revolution and Bastille Day, or the quote-unquote American Revolution, or the revolutions of countries separating themselves, right? Their revolution happens because you want to separate yourself. For many, revolutions are historical facts in books. I grew up with revolution being someone's face in front of me. I grew up with people from around the world that because of an upset of energy, of a change and shift of energy, whether it went positively or negatively, depending who you spoke to, they had to leave their present place of living. And in their revolving of time, the place where they were could not hold them in the here and now. In other words, I grew up from people who immigrated from around the world because of the revolution, whether they participated or not in their home or in their country. If we look as revolution and the potency of it to be present, as we stay curious with this, we can see how revolution is a reaction of the past, here, now, looking to move forward. Revolution itself is being present. Hence the title, The Revolution of Now. This is a working definition that we are creating here. I just want you to sit with this. We can sit with other definitions, right? And they're mostly political. A sudden, radical, complete change, a fundamental change in political organization. If we look to the Merriam-Webster, we can look at artistic revolutions, right? Because political is not just war-based. It's about ideas. It's about beauty. It's about creating something. It is a reaction or a conversation where the past and the present are here now, and you are living so intimately with it. You are making decisions of how to move and live with all of it, instead of just going along. Instead of just stifling down the past or panicking about the future. You can be presently here, knowing that you are divine, and that itself allows you to be evolutionary revolution and to exist in all times of dimension and space consciously in the past and the present and here now. And you choose your revolution each moment as you evolve and as you revolve around the circle. So let us do a meditation as we sit with all of this. So let's settle in again. And let us take our 3 breaths in and out through the nose, bringing our mind into this time and place, our body back into this time and place, our essence back into this time and place. And one of the images or alliances that is coming in to help us with this meditation is the humble, what I used to call growing up, roly-poly. And that imagery, right, these pill bugs with that ability to physically, right, if you think of their front end, their right, front end is the future, their back end is their past, they literally can be presently in a timeline, space, and moment by the way that they roll up. Thank you, roly-poly or pill bugs, for showing us an image of what we can maybe sometimes do with our bodies to connect to the present moment. So if you are listening to this and you have an opportunity now or today to lie down, if this is available to you, and roll yourself up into that little ball, you can be present with all of your parts. And for those of you who just use your imagination, just imagine yourself laying out, your head moving quote unquote to the future, your feet to the past. Again, this is just imagery. And then rolling up like a roly-poly to be in the here now. And then out again, almost like an accordion, right? And bringing in, and that's another imagery, an accordion moving out and together, our hands moving out and here now. So as we bring the past and the present and the future here now, and this motion of our hands, thank you, Kumu Ramsey, presently here now, just get into this motion, your right and your left, coming together in the center, and do that and just get into that wave, if you can, of the separation and the joining, the separation and the joining. And once you get into this rhythm, if it is available to you, start to hear the sound quality. Start to be playful. What if your right hand was further than your left? And vice versa. How do your hands feel when they come together? As they touch each other? What does the now feel like when your hands are together touching? Take a moment to just bring your hands together in front of you, palm to palm, as some would say, the symbol of prayer. And if we take this conversation, this concept that we've been playing with, as the past and the present, as shown by our hands presently here, meeting, then this position of prayer that has been handed down to us, or to many, maybe it's not about supplication, but maybe it's really a physical example to remind us, just like the roly-poly does, to be here now. So in this prayer hand position, take a moment to observe everything between your hands, everything around your hands, and just focus on that. Each moment of contact, palm to palm, hand to hand, with air around it and between it, is a chance to be presently in the revolution of now. And when we are in that energy, we can accept we are divinely here, divinely enough, that heaven is now, as it has been in the past and will be in the future, but we get to live it every moment that we consciously choose to participate willingly with what has been, what might be, letting go of that and sitting with the divinity of who we are here and now. Take a few more moments in this space. We thank the Pillbug Roly-Poly for inspiring it. We thank Kumu Ramsey. We thank Thich Nhat Hanh. We thank all our teachers. We take our 3 breaths in and out through the nose, thanking our essence for being in this time and place. In and out through the nose, thanking our body for being in this time and place. Last one, in and out through the nose. Shake it off, thanking our mind for being presently here, not needing to be in the past or the future, but to be gently here, now, accepting that it is divine. So in gratitude for the circle, for this topic, and in gratitude to all my teachers, to all that hold us in the here and the now and reflect back the opportunity to be presently revolutionary here, now. As we continue the revolution of now, we thank the East, the North, the West, and the South, and the guardians of all of your traditions. We thank Mother Earth for holding us. We thank the cloud people for inspiring us. And with that, we exit the circle, bowing to the circle, bowing to the energies inside of the circle that held us, that gave us inspiration. And we bow to each other. May this week, as you walk in a good way, may you allow yourself the revolutionary act of accepting your divinity and the revolutionary acceptance and invitation to be presently in your divine self. Shade. Once again, it is with deepest gratitude that I bow to you for joining me on this podcast, this episode, this circle, this plática, this meditation, this remembering. I hope that you have stayed curious. I hope to see you in the circle again next week. So make sure that you like or follow. Until then, may you be blessed with abundance of peace and radical self-love.